And welcome to Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland, home to the Crew and some of the best college soccer fans you will ever find. As the Maryland Terrapins welcome in the Duke Blue Devils, coming out from under the 2008 National Championship goal. They also won it in 2005, and that's in the other corner. Sasho Soroski's Maryland Terrapins. The Crew in what is expected to perhaps be a record crowd, and the Duke Blue Devils walking out perhaps for the final time. It's Maryland and Duke right here as part of an NSCAA college soccer special, and the last time in the ACC. And today's game is presented by Continental Tire, the presenting sponsor of College Soccer Night on NSCAA TV. To learn more, visit continentaltire.com. The atmosphere is electric here in College Park, Maryland, as they get ready for the starting lineups and the National Guard. Hello, everybody, and welcome to College Park, Maryland. Delighted to be with you here, as my name is Dean Linke, along with longtime Georgetown coach Keith the Batsnick. And Keith, I'll tell you, the Crew is out in full force tonight.
Well, they're out in full force tonight, and they've been out in full force for 10 years. I can tell you, when I coached here at Georgetown, I used to go out there and find things out about my family I never knew before. The Crew does their homework. It's an awesome atmosphere to play in. All
right, Maryland and Sasho Soroski, easy for me to say, is led by the reigning Herman Trophy winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're talking about Pat Mullins, and last year the Herman Trophy winner, Pat Mullins, 17 goals, 10 assists last year. He decides not to go to the MLS, offered a Generation Adidas contract, comes back to Maryland for his senior campaign. Has a goal and assist in their opening weekend, and I know he's going to be high on the draft list come the MLS time, or if he's lured out to Europe somewhere as well. He's got that talent.
Meanwhile, John Kerr's Duke Blue Devils, as they're lining up here at Ludwig Field, are led by Zach Chachi Mathers, who's had 2 great games.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's had 2 great games, scoring goals, 2 goals in the opening weekend for Duke. However, Chachi was a defender last year, played in the center back all last year, and now this year John Kerr moving him back up into the attack. Right, and it is definitely paying off. This guy is going to be a big part of Duke if they're going to be successful this year.
All right, he's Keith the Batsnick. I'm Dean Linke as we get ready here for Maryland and Duke at Ludwig Field. Before we toss it, any final thoughts on what you're expecting here, Keith?
Well, I think both teams have different feelings. Maryland coming off not the best opening weekend they've ever had, but a young team. Duke with a more veteran team and coming off a bad year. So I think they're really excited for the opening of the ACC. By the way, the last ACC regular season game between these two teams.
All right, we're going to step aside and come back here for the starting lineups between Maryland and Duke right here on NSCAA TV.
It starts here, the birth of an idea, the heart of innovation and entrepreneurship, informed by a $500 million research enterprise, shaped by our global perspective, encouraged, prodded, tested, improved, until it becomes fearless. Because we believe fearless ideas ignite bold invention, spark quantum advances, and drive passionate leaders. From research to development to launch, we are dedicated to the power of fearless ideas. We are the University of Maryland.
Hey, Miss C. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I just don't want you boys to be late for your big game. Okay, have fun. I'll be right here after the game.
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
Tra-la-la, tra-la, tra-la. Tra-la-la, tra-la, tra-la.
Well, we're looking forward to a match tonight to see how much we've grown. Last weekend we knew we'd be tough. We knew we'd be young. We were younger than we thought we'd be, and it was probably a little tougher than we thought it would be. We ran into two very good teams, very different styles that I think really at the end of the day are going to prove to be very fruitful for our growth. We grew up a lot last week, and we had a good week of preparation, and looking forward to putting on a better performance tonight against a very experienced and good Duke team.
We're very excited about being here tonight against Maryland. Beautiful night. It's going to be a big crowd. We had a great weekend last weekend, but tonight's the real test against Maryland and their fans and our opening night in the ACC.
St. Mary's, a college prep boarding school with a full-time residential soccer center of excellence for boys and girls and member of the U.S. Soccer Development Academy. To learn more, visit s-sm.org. Getting ready here in front of what could be a record crowd. What a beautiful shot you have right there at Ludwig Field, the Maryland Terrapins and the Duke Blue Devils. Dean Linke along with Keith Tabatsnik, delighted to be with you. Let's take a look here real quickly at the Maryland starting lineup, and Maryland, of course, led by a lot of youth in the back, Keith Tabatsnik.
Yeah, they got a lot of youth in the back. One reason Dakota Edwards, of course, is out with an injury right now. So you look at that, freshman, sophomore in the back, freshman in the goal, and this was the challenge they had last week in California, and they need to get that sorted in order to make another run deep into the NCAA tournament. Obviously, up front, they got a lot of guns, and they'll be able to score goals.
All right, that's the Maryland starting lineup. Let's take a look now at the Duke Blue Devils starting lineup.
Well, you look at the Duke Blue Devils, and it's almost the opposite. Junior, senior, grad student in the goal. And so they've got the experience in the back, right? And now they've got this Zach Chachi Mathers scoring goals. Nick Palatacek is back from his injury. Brody Hetima from Canada, another goal scorer. And, of course, coming off the bench, somebody who's going to have a tremendous college career, Luis Rendon as well. All can score goals for the Blue Devils.
All right, we're ready to go here. As the Duke Blue Devils, as Keith Tabatsnik said, will learn a lot about their family. They're in all white. The Maryland Terrapins are in all black. Delighted to be with you here as part of this NSCAA College Soccer Special. Also, you heard there as we came back from break the comments from Sasha Swarovski and John Kerr as well, the fine head coaches, and may have been a little bit of an audio glitch. What they have to say to you, Keith, before the game?
Well, both, Sasha's very excited to see what has happened from what he calls his learning experience, and the team's learning experience last week in California. And it's unusual for Maryland to come in after a weekend and be 0-1-1. So he thinks they've learned a lot from it. He knows he's got a young group in the back, and that they have to be a bit patient. And there they are being patient, winning the ball. And then, Duke, on the other hand, felt really good about their opening weekend, but they know it's a much different story when you walk into Ludwig Field.
Yeah, just an absolutely electric atmosphere. Rob Kehoe from the NSCAA is here as well and said they're still coming in deep. They were out here tailgating, folks, at 1:30, and you can hear the crowd as well. Playing out of the back there is number 28, Chris Odui-Atcham, one of those three freshmen that Keith Tabatsnik talked about, as this one will come all the way back. Now battle around in the midfield. Maryland, of course, in black, Duke in white. First Friday here at Ludwig Field, home to the Maryland Terrapins, and in 20-plus years, Sasha Swarovski has really built a cult here. They were out here yesterday, fan appreciation, told everybody Thursday, come on out. They got rid of almost 2,000 scarves on a Thursday night, and guess what? Every single player shook every one of their hands, along with Sasha Swarovski.
Well, I told you, Dean. I mean, you think that's impressive, but I did that my first years at Georgetown. I shook at least 20 people's hands, all right, every night.
Twice.
Every day at the game, twice. To get to 20.
Incredible, isn't it?
And seriously, really, really something, that they had that thing down here, and so many people came out just to meet the team.
Mathers drops that one in.
They all brought friends out tonight, too, because there's a lot more than a couple thousand here.
Zach Steffen is the goalkeeper, the freshman from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And they're still coming in. It's a European atmosphere here, a game day feel. As Sebastian Ibiaga is in the back working there now with Nat Eggleston. As Eggleston played holding midfielder last year for John Kerr, and Zach Mathers played back there, but now Zach Mathers has been moved up in the attack.
Yeah, and one of the things that has happened with Zach Mathers going up to the attack, which is actually his more natural position that he played in club ball with Dallas Solar Club in Texas. But he had a really good year as the defender last year on the ACC all-freshman team. But moving up there, he scored 2 goals so far, and he's what you call just an absolute complete attacking soccer player, and just filled that role last year while Eggleston was in the holding midfield.
Helge Leikvang, the Norwegian, playing in front of that back four. And Leikvang actually wanted to go to Duke, didn't totally work out. Sasho Soroski saw him and brought him in. A couple years ago, he had a real big year. Now he's worked his way back into the starting lineup as now Maryland sends it inside the box. They'll be looking for Mullins. He'll touch it first time. Around the corner, and this one over the crossbar, not on target. A good spin there, though, by Mullins. He'll touch it first time. Around the corner, and this one, Shuma had a big-time freshman campaign combining with Patrick Mullins. Probably one of the best combos you'll see in college soccer.
Well, no question. We had said in the opening, Patrick Mullins had 17 goals, and Shiloh had 10 goals last year and already 2 goals this year as well.
The Crew. As there is Alex Long, played for Coach Burson at South Carolina, had a redshirt year. He's from Cary, North Carolina, and decided to spend one more year, this time in the goal, though, for the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the things, they lost Belshaw last year, the fantastic goalkeeper for Duke, James Belshaw, and so John Kerr, not knowing exactly what was going to happen, I think he really got fortunate having a goalkeeper come in with a ton of collegiate experience already.
Maryland with a quick restart. They will be looking all the time for number 15. Patrick Mullins had a huge year last year, 17 goals, 10 assists to win the Herman. No whistle there as Duke tracking back Sean Davis and the freshman Jimmy Dowell. And Jimmy Dowell, he's a player that you know well, Keith.
Yeah, well, Jimmy played with the Region 1 Olympic development team his first couple years as a U13 or 14-year-old. Went to Italy with the Region 1 team representing them, and it was obviously a really smart soccer player at the time, and they list him at 5'7", 145. Now I'm going to tell you, if Jimmy's 5'7", I'm actually about 6 foot as well. But Jimmy is one of those guys. He just works nonstop. Really good soccer brain, and what I think will happen is a really good partnership with Sean Davis, allowing Sean to really move around and connect with everybody.
Boy, a lot of times we come to Ludwig Field and the game just shoots out of a can and it's end-to-end, but this game has settled in nicely here.
I think one of the things any time that you play Maryland is absorbing and trying to play well in the first 15 minutes of each half, actually. And it's always one of the challenges of coaches coming in, trying to be able to play their game. And now we're talking about Zach Mathers, just being a really good soccer player there. Looking behind him, he saw one of his players open behind and just let the ball go. And I think what he does is brings so many of his players into the game. And off of that, when he left the ball, he went towards goal, too, just in case it was flipped through.
Stolen away here by Duke. Duke trying to pounce. On the ball here now is Nick Palatichuk, as Palatichuk had a big-time year 2 years ago. Was third in the nation in scoring as a freshman, and then last year only played 10 games because of injury, and now Palatichuk is working his way back in. If he can get healthy for John Kerr, he is a big, strong forward for the Duke Blue Devils.
No, he is, and we had him on, on the Game of the Week a couple years ago as well. It was really impressive. But here's the thing about him: he's completely recovered from the injury that kept him out last year. He just had another nick this year with a bit of a groin issue and stuff, so they're bringing him back on that. You got to be careful the amount of minutes you're playing when you're coming back from that, but it really gives them some really good depth, though, up top.
All right, here comes now Tsubasa Endo, the sophomore from Japan, was actually over there when the tsunami hit, and now we're seeing Endo play a role here for Maryland. This one sent over near post, bouncing around, it's still loose, finally cleared out of there by the big man Haitama. And Brody Haitama is one of the top recruits in the country, the freshman from British Columbia.
Yeah, well, he's played with the Canadian youth national team. In fact, just came off games with the Canadian youth national team, got into Duke a few days late because of that. But Vancouver Whitecaps Academy, where he scored 30 goals in 29 games.
Kim. Plays it back to Rob DeLotte. He has been a mainstay for John Kerr. Now remember, John Kerr won Duke's first ever national championship in any sport back in 1986, and he also walked away with the Herman Trophy.
Well, he's obviously got quite a pedigree. We all know his father passed away a few years ago. John Kerr Sr., one of the pioneers and legends of soccer in the United States. And John grew up surrounded by a lot of really good soccer people, playing with Montgomery United alongside Bruce Murray up top. Two of them made quite a tandem.
Likeveg. Helge Likeveg. He'll get it out wide now to Odui Atcham. Odui Atcham is a handful, and Kim grabbing a handful of jersey. This one's sent over to Endo. Subasa Endo. They'll switch it right side, trying to find Metzger. Metzger's a player that can also play central. Sasho Sarovsky has decided to move him out wide for this game.
Yeah, and Metzger is a versatile player. I think he's more comfortable central, and we've seen him central a lot more, but that's the reason he's starting Helge Likevang. And he has that sort of ability to move some players around. There's going to be some players off the bench that can all play. One of the strengths that they had last year was how deep they were. And so in practice, everyone is fighting for starting spots. And you have to do that early, especially when you've got players that you can go to. And make sure, it's not like they came off a brilliant opening weekend that you can say, all right, everyone who started, you're back in.
Here's Alex Long. As you can see behind him, the crew is out in full force here tonight in College Park, Maryland. And we called it a cult, but I'll tell you what Sasho Sarovsky has built here is really second to none. I mean, just the time he spends with him after practice. Rob Kehoe talking about the fact that he'll come and buy pizza for him and let them ask questions about the team and even the players. I mean, you talk about getting to know the students in your fan base. Sasho's done it.
No, he certainly has. And those coaches that have done that throughout the country really build, that relationship, and not just with the students here. Now, obviously it's a huge school, so there's so many students to draw from. But some of the schools that are smaller, where the coaches do that, and they get into the community as well, and they build that fan base. And we obviously got the East Coast and the West Coast covered by two incredible schools that do a lot with the community and students. With Santa Barbara, with the crowds they get on the West Coast, and Maryland here on the East Coast.
Foul on Duke, so now Maryland will have it. They'll look up. They'll try to find number 15, Patrick Mullins. He's marked tightly by Nat Eggleston and will be for most of this match as Eggleston and Ibiaga. There's Eggleston on Mullins, one in the middle by the little man. You're right. If he's 5'7", there's no way. But I'll tell you what, John Kerr and Coach Brady love Jimmy Dahl. Here's a shot. Oh, my. A rocket shot from the Herman Trophy winner, Patrick Mullins. And on a dime, he can absolutely crack it. And I'll tell you what, you wonder why he came back for a senior season? Look around, Keith Tabatsik, right there. That's why he came back.
Well, better atmosphere here than you get in some of the games where he may be going. I won't say any places. But obviously it's so much fun to play here. And you can understand. You understand if a player wants to leave to go to the pros, but you can certainly understand why he wants to stay.
Sonny Jane, the senior, he is such a key part of this team and their potential success. Now remember, in the last 15 years, Maryland has been to 8 college cups, making them arguably the most successful college program out there. They won 2 national championships during that run, and they're celebrating tonight their ACC championship from a year ago, and this will be their last year in the ACC as they move to the Big Ten.
They move to the Big Ten, and everyone's moving around, and Notre Dame coming into the ACC, Pittsburgh, and who knows. I think last year we were talking as the season was going on about all the changes and that we'd try to keep people updated, but they kept changing so much. Maybe there's going to be some stability after this year, but it's going to be strange, actually, not having Maryland in the ACC, of course, in all sports. But they are going to help make the Big Ten quite a conference. You talk about how many times that they've been to the College Cup in the last 15 years and 12 straight NCAA appearances as well. And it is that consistency that that you need to talk about with great programs, not just a really good year here or there.
Cleared out of there by the freshman from Gahanna, Ohio, Alex Cronali. So in Kim, talk about a highly heralded freshman, played for Sporting KC reserve team. And So in Kim has settled in nicely on the wing, play left or right. playing in front of Rob DeLotte tonight. The left back, number 24, DeLotte, is a guy that John Kerr could just pencil in every single day.
Well, here's the thing, is that this is his 60th start for Duke today. And that's one of the things that Duke has is a lot of players. As we see the freshman back for Maryland giving the ball away there, but a lot of players in the back with a lot of games under their belt. So therefore, the atmosphere that they have here, they can deal with it. If this was the opposite, Maryland going into an atmosphere, a hostile atmosphere on the road, it could be a little bit different because of the youth of their players in the back.
Throw in.
You actually wonder, Dean, if this atmosphere, while it's exciting to play in, the first time these freshmen have played in it, could affect them negatively or positively.
Great point, Keith. Excellent point. And that's one of the reasons they came here, though, was to be a part of this. And what a huge selling vehicle it is for Sasso Soroski. I'll tell you what, though, give Duke credit because their fan base continues to grow under John Kerr as they get some pretty good crowds out at Koskinen.
That's John Koskinen Stadium, and if that name rings a bell, it's because President Obama has just nominated him to head up the IRS. He used to be a friend of mine until I heard that.
Sonny Jade over on the far side. So in Kim will play it back neatly in the middle of the field to Sean Davis. Sean Davis is such a key part of this thing and an outstanding soccer player, Sean Davis. Probably doesn't get enough credit for all he does as he tries to find Zach Chachi Mathers. Still having trouble calling him Chachi. That's what he goes by, though. That's what he wants to be called. His mom gave him that nickname early. Had nothing to do with Keith's favorite show, Happy Days.
Well, I tell you what, when I saw that, I was thinking, looking on the picture, and it wasn't Chachi. It might have been Potsy or somebody on the picture. I don't know, but...
Boy, look at Mullins. How clean is that? Just turns right away from Eggleston. Look at him go. Mullins is in. Boy, I tell you what, he was almost too unselfish. I don't think he thought he was going to get by that last white jersey, and he did, Keith.
No, he did, and maybe not to get a clean shot, but a toe poke or something like that as he was going. And this will be one of the challenges for Duke, though, is a question of pace of all of their players in the back. And Nat Eggleston, one of them, he's a very smart player, positions himself well, but not the fastest on the turn.
Metzger with the throw-in. Combination play here now. Shiloh Shuma. And this one will go over the crossbar, and the Crew fans like it. They have, I'll tell you, there's been a buzz. The game started at 7:30. You could feel the buzz around 5:30. I told you they were tailgating out there as early as 1:30, and it's just been this sort of electricity in the air here at College Park.
Well, a lot going on, and we drove in here at about 5 and saw the Maryland parents, some of whom I know, and we went out there and said hello to them beforehand. And Jeremy Rayleigh's mom, Laurie, who kindly let us come in and have a little bit to eat there in their tailgate, and she was getting prepared along with remember the name Rayleigh, J.J. Rayleigh, who played for Providence, a standout player there, also here to watch his brother, who'll get in the game later. But quite a support. They know how to do it around.
Eggleston will drop it to Mathers. Sorry, Keith, as this one played perfectly by Zach Steffen. I love that great run. Mathers came back, checked, and then over the top. A good ball from Eggleston.
Absolutely. And I kept talking because I knew Zach Steffen just had that perfectly timed anyways. It was going to be nothing there. But no, you're right. And again, this is we talk about Zach Mathers, is the way that he can move off the ball. And, he's done a couple of his best plays today without touching the ball, just the movement, letting it go, and taking the defender away and trying to get in behind.
Foul on Duke, and now Maryland will have a free kick. Free kick opportunity for Maryland. No score, Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland. NSCAA College Soccer Special right here on the newly minted NSCAA TV. Delighted to be with you with the Crew. And this one a great shot off the post and deflected off, and Maryland knocking at the door, crashing in there, the freshman Alex Cronale, the big Italian.
Yeah, and talk about big, 6'5", and he will be a target for all of those, of course.
Shiloh Shuma. He is not the biggest cat, Shiloh Shuma, but he is elusive as he drops this one back to Endo. Endo now all the way back. Like Feng. And another foul. Rob DeLotte this time on the foul. And what a great shot there, though, a moment ago by Maryland.
No, absolutely. The ball coming in. And the thing about the header is that he had to go away from the goal to head it towards the goal. And, caught it right off the post and out. And, Duke dodging a bullet there, and at the pressure that Maryland's putting on right now, this is an important few minutes for Duke to absorb this and get back into their game.
Mikey Ambrose, great left foot.
And there again, once again, the free kick after free kick, this time getting a free in the backside. He was not offside had he been able to get to that ball. The flag did not go up. The thing is, Duke's got some big guys back there, but that doesn't mean that you automatically putting on right now. This is an important few minutes for Duke to absorb this and get back into their game.
Mikey Ambrose, great left foot.
And I think the atmosphere might be getting a little bit to them as well with all the pressure Maryland's putting on.
Yeah, quite candidly, Keith, the batsman who can't not undersell the atmosphere here because it is really unbelievable.
Yeah, I think too that you look at this, another foul, and the crowd's going to be getting on it. Andy Chapin is the referee, and I think he's trying to avoid giving cards too early in this game. And I don't think anything has deserved a card yet, but sometimes you can get caught up into the into that atmosphere as well as the referee, and so many fouls in a row against Duke. And I would have a feeling that the next foul against Duke that's anything significant will get a card pulled out from Andy Chapin.
They've actually closed the gates here at Ludwig Field, and what is anticipated to perhaps be the biggest crowd ever on the first Friday. Shiloh Shuma is in. Can he cross it? Oh, just a heavy touch. Boy, I'll tell you what, they come from all over the field here for the Maryland Terrapins, a dynamic squad. But give Duke credit, though. One of the things John Kerr wanted to do was see if they can just hang in there for those first 20 minutes, settle down, because Duke's got a much better team this year.
They do, and they're just about at that 20-minute mark. But for the last 5 minutes of that, it has been all Maryland. And the only way for Duke to settle down here is to get a hold of the ball a little bit and make Maryland defend some, because certainly one of the question marks that Maryland has against them right now is their defending.
Palatichuk, what a move by Palatichuk, and Stefan comes out and closes again. Now Duke with a couple good opportunities inside the 18. It was Mathers a little bit ago, and now Palatichuk. You can visit the official NSCAA college scoreboard at topdrawersoccer.com for all of your college score needs, along with the most up-to-date scores. TopDrawersSoccer.com provides box scores, match, team, and player stats, video highlights, and game recaps of all the action around the corner. The score here from Ludwig Field is Maryland 0, Duke 0. Delighted to be with you on NSCAATV.com. Another pioneering step for Joe Cummings and the entire gang, the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. Going to try to bring you 12 Division I matchups, including some women games. On Thursday, we'll be at Duke for Duke Miami women at the aforementioned Koskinen Stadium. We're going to see a lot of quality teams. We'll see Louisville. We'll see UCSB. We'll see New Mexico, Tulsa. Another great schedule by Rob Kehoe and the gang.
No, absolutely. And when you look at the teams that are in the national rankings in the top 20, so many of them we're going to see this year, and a number of the Herman Mack Trophy candidates, two of whom are on the field right now, with Sebastian Ibiaga for Duke, and of course Patrick Mullins, the guy who holds it from last year.
Like Fang plays it quickly to Sonny Jane. Nifty back heel by Sonny Jane. Such a creative player. He gives it up, then he takes off. It's Sonny Jane making a move right down the middle of the park. He wanted to get that back from Endo. Now it'll go left side. This one sent across. It's dangerous, but handled by the big man, Alex Long. And that gives us a chance to talk a little bit more about Long. As you said, Belshaw finally left, one of the greats for Duke and goalkeeper, but now Long really gives him that big presence back there that John Kerr likes.
Yeah, exactly. And in college soccer, sometimes the bigger goalkeepers are needed just because of the way that the game is so often it's in the air. We've seen how many of the free kicks have gone into the box right now. Then you need a goalkeeper that can control the box. And being big alone doesn't mean that you control the box, but he's obviously got some experience. Didn't play every single year for South Carolina, but comes from the Region 3 Olympic Development Program, played for Castle as well, coach an excellent coach, Rusty Scarborough, as a youth coach. So, again, kind of a little fortunate for John Kerr to have somebody just come in and be able to take over with experience.
Played out wide to Metzger. Schuma, what a great ball to Metzger. He'll look up, Endo's there, so is Mullins. Mullins comes crashing in, but as the two Herman Trophy candidates collide right there, it was Sebastian Ibiaga that won that one. This one played back quickly. Schuma, he is everywhere. And Schuma in combination. Metzger goes down, and they will not whistle that foul. They'll give it back to Duke on the throw-in.
Absolutely, but you saw one reason why Dan Metzger's playing on the right side, because that ball that he put in there was outstanding for that cross.
Good look at Rob DeLotte. Started 2010 at Central Mid. Then 2011 he got 19 starts. In 2012 he got all 18 starts. Number 24 who is on the ball now. Rob DeLotte, the senior from Belleville, Michigan.
He's one of those players, Dean, that every program needs a couple players like that. Day in and day out, they do their job. They're never going to really win a game for you. They're never going to lose a game for you. And what you realize how important they've been to you when they go, actually. And like I said, 60 games right now, and you just love those players. And they usually find them in the outside back.
Shiloh Schuma trying to do a little nutmeg on Davis, and that won't work on a KG player like Davis who's back on it. Davis looks up, finds Platichuk. Platichuk was hoping to cut back. He was upheld. That's a pretty good call right there. As coming back, holding him up, was number 22, Suli Denka. Denka, the freshman from Sierra Leone. 2012 Gatorade State Player of the Year in Virginia is Suli Denka.
And right now, a top player from New Jersey, Sean Davis, will be on the ball here. And Sean is actually 25, 30 yards and in, and put the ball where he wants. Ibiaga is up there as well, and he's quite a target as well for these free kicks.
Eggleston also comes forward, and don't forget about Haitama. Davis going to take a shot at it near post, and that is in. How about the Duke Blue Devils? Sean Davis stuns the crowd here, and the crew does not like it. Duke on top, 1-0.
Absolutely, and this is John Kerr said. This guy is deadly on free kicks. Anywhere 25 yards and in. That looked like it was right about a little outside of 25, so John can extend that a little bit the next time he said it. Sean is actually 25, 30 yards and in, and put the ball where he wants. Ibiaga is up there as well, and he's quite a target as well for these free kicks. Really plays well. We'll have another look at this. No question that what he wanted to do and put that ball around the wall. And here's the thing: it's their first shot of the game, and it's a goal.
So Duke on top, 1-0. Sonny Jane on the attack for Maryland. They've closed the gates here. Metzger will try to answer right back. Sent all the way across. Can't find Shiloh Schuma. And boy, can you believe it? The Duke Blue Devils, Maryland, feeling the energy of the crowd. Duke able to answer, gets the foul, and they finish.
Well, here's the thing about soccer. They call it a cool game sometimes. Maryland has 6 shots. Duke has 1 shot. Maryland has 1 foul against them. Duke has 6 fouls. Maryland has all those dangerous things off their free kicks. Duke gets the first free kick and scores.
Incredible. It is a cruel game indeed. But a wonderful environment here for this one. So-In Kim can't win it. Maryland, boy, when they get it back, they are just on the attack. Out wide here to Mikey Ambrose. It's worth pointing out that part of the reason so many freshmen are starting in the back, Dakota Edwards is out and working his way back. He's almost back, according to Sasso Soroski, who told me that before the game, Keith.
Yes, and also Widener St. Cyr, who's played a lot of minutes for Maryland, coming off an injury and should be back in the mix, challenging for playing time as well. But certainly Edwards had an outstanding season last year, and they miss his leadership back there now.
Odui Atcham, great give and go. That was your right back to your right midfielder. Metzger sends it all the way across. Sonny Jane is there. He's got Ambrose behind him. Let's see if Sonny Jane can get it back in. He'll use Ambrose in that great left foot. He'll send it into the box. Sebastian Ibiaga will send it out. Likefang is there, top of the box. Likefang plays it inside the 18, now back out. Here comes Sonny Jane, quick left foot, back across again. And finally sent out of there by Jimmy Dahl. Foul on Likefang. No, they'll say play on, no fouls. It's one back by Jimmy Dahl. Here comes up top again. Played on the turn. So-In Kim, number 23, one back by Maryland. Eggleston. Odui Atcham, the freshman right back, played at DeMatha Catholic in Maryland. Wow, the Duke Blue Devils on top of Maryland 1-0 with 18 minutes left here in the first half. And you get the feeling in this one, more goals are coming, Keith.
Well, you'd certainly think so, and you think Maryland's going to get at least one or two of them as well, the way that they're putting the pressure on. But at the same time, it hasn't been a pressure that's come out of a lot of rhythm, playing where Duke is chasing the ball all over the place. It's come pretty much straight forward, very fast.
Speaking of very fast, what an unbelievable run right there by Maryland. They're still on it and staying with it, making that run all the way from the back.
But the thing about that, the speed that Maryland does attack at, the issue with Duke's defenders and some of them not having the pace to stay with it, therefore causing the fouls as well. And they give up too many of those fouls in those dangerous areas, and Maryland will respond with a goal of their own.
Alex Shinsky will replace Sonny Jane, as Sonny Jane will come to the bench. The big man, Cronali, who we thought had one as it went off the near post. So really the post has one and Duke has one. And Duke is the beneficiary of both of those. Throw in here now by Rob DeLotte. Mathers.
I'm sorry, Dean. Duke looking to try to get a big victory on the road would probably get them back into the national rankings. And Maryland, we talk about the consistency and everything. This is the first week for Maryland out of the top 25, I think, since 2009, October 2009. Out of the top 10 since October 2009.
Mullins trying to go through Ibiaga. Again, that battle of the two Herman Trophy winners. This one won by Mullins. It'll be a corner kick for Maryland. Subasa Endo will take the corner kick. Cronali at 6'5" is in there. This one still loose off the head of Duke. Foot race. It'll go out of bounds, but not before there's a foul. And we are in Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland. Delighted to be with you. As Dean Linke now joined by a former Herman Trophy winner. He won the 2005 National Championship and helped bring the goal back from SAS Soccer Park, now WakeMed Soccer Park. Talking about Jason Gary. Good to see you, Jason.
Good to be with you, Dean.
All right, delighted to be with you. And, boy, I'll tell you what, unbelievable crowd. First of all, though, they're not used to this down a goal here, Jason.
I know. Duke's done an excellent job, actually, of absorbing some of Maryland's pressure. And Maryland needs to find that goal that'll get them back in the game. But good free kick from Duke. And Maryland's got to put the pressure on them and get that goal. Here
with Jason Gary, as we said, won the Herman Trophy back in 2005, scored buckets of goals. And talk about that championship run, just a dream come true. And I know you've always said more important even to you than the Herman Trophy.
Absolutely. I mean, we had, as a group of guys, we had gone to 3 Final Fours in a row and fallen short 3 years in a row. And to finally win it that senior year was something really special.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about what Sasho Soroski has built here. Is now Maryland on the attack. Let's see if Maryland can get this one inside the 18 again. It'll be another corner kick as they walk over for the corner. I mean, this could be another record crowd here for Sasho. It's like a cult. It's unbelievable. Yesterday, almost 2,000 fans came here to get a scarf from Sasho and the team.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And the support that they've built over the years is a true testament to what Sasha's built here for Maryland soccer. I mean, you had, 2,000 people come out just to get a scarf and to support the team. So it's pretty special. They had guys tailgating in the parking lot. There's a good chance there.
That one almost snuck through as Helge Leichvang taking the rebound and keeping it low, but not able to get by the big man Alex Long. Yeah, the tailgate was unbelievable out there, Jason.
Yeah, it's unreal. It looks like a football game out there.
Cronali in the back. Maryland now, the last 15 college cups, they've been to 8 of them, greater than 50%. Jason Gary, and you as a finance man got to love those numbers as well. I mean, Maryland just flat out wins.
Yeah, it's pretty good odds, and they're struggling a little bit now to build on this this young back line, so that's what they're working on here.
Flag is up. The referee doesn't see it. It's still up. Now he'll bring it back down. It looked like the referee may have actually waved off. He did. Well, now let's see if he'll. No, he waved it off, I think. You don't see that every day. Let him play on right there as Heitema was in. Andrew Chapin, the referee here, and the crowd, I mean, just, Jason, they closed the gates. It's unbelievable.
They did, and that's why Sash will tell you that he wants a new stadium. So they can fill it up even further. So, yeah, it's amazing support they have here in Maryland for men's soccer, and it's pretty nice to see. The fire marshal had to shut the gate down. Pretty cool.
Yeah, incredible. Just an electric crowd here. And Jason, now when you were coming on, college soccer on television was really starting to kickstart a little bit, but now everywhere you look, all the games are on TV. And how about the NSCAA stepping up big, providing this TV channel?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And we started out with those Friday night soccer games. I know you were part of that, Dean, and it's great to see the, expanding that availability of college soccer to everyone. And I think you see games like tonight and the atmosphere that's built and the two great teams battling. I think people want to see that on TV, and it's great that the NSCAA has stepped up and is helping that out.
Jason Gary may even have a future in it as well. Call some games with the Carolina Railhawks. Now that you're retired, how are you feeling about that decision?
I feel great about it. It was time for me to shut it down. I had some hip injuries and time to move on to the next stage of my life, but had a great time playing here at Maryland and playing for 7 years in the pros, and was really blessed and lucky to be able to do that.
2005 Herman Trophy winner and national championship. And here's an easy, oh my gosh, Duke almost made it 2-0 right there. As crashing forward was the freshman Heitema with a diving header. Boy, I'll tell you what, I'm glad that didn't happen, because Jason may have turned this desk upside down up here in the booth.
I'll tell you what, Duke has been dangerous on the break. They've really done a good job of absorbing Maryland's pressure and breaking on them.
As that went off of there, now we'll let you just go ahead and give your pick for the Herman Trophy this year. And Keith the Batsik's not eligible.
Yeah, yeah. But I gotta go with last year's winner, Patrick Mullins, Louisiana boy. So we'll see what happens.
From one Louisiana boy to the other, Duke continuing to be dangerous here with a 1-0 lead. They're not panicking in front of what is possibly a record crowd here. The Crew out here big time, and the Crew also happy to salute Jason Gary. Listen, congratulations on all your success. True gentleman as well. Good man. Great terp as well. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Jason Gary, 2005 Herman Trophy winner and national champion. And Keith the Batsik, as he said, the national championship is what meant the most to him.
Well, of course it does. And, I knew he was going to pick Pat Mullins, especially once you talked about my ineligibility for it. But at the same time, he talked about Patrick Mullins because of a fellow Louisiana boy, but he didn't say fellow Terp. Or Terrapin, I guess, and everything like that. He needs to say both of them, but I think Patrick's got a pretty good chance, to repeat his that. But a few people knocking on the door. However, I think to do that,
this one's sent long. I'll tell you what, there's a young man not too far in Baltimore that is also having a big-time season here. Keith, tell us a little bit about him.
You're talking about Petey Caringi Jr.? I figured you were. And Pete Caringi Jr., obviously talk about somebody else from quite a pedigree, with his family. His dad, Pete Caringi, is an outstanding player, in Baltimore. Pete Caringi III, I'm sorry. The dad is a junior. I think Mr. Caringi, the coach, I wasn't talking about you for the Herman, although I'm sure you're doing a great job yourself. But I'll go up there to see UMBC play tomorrow and look forward to see Pete Caringi III play. I've seen him play since he was about 12 years old, and another outstanding year for UMBC.
Don't forget to tune in to the NSCAA College Highlights and Ranking Show on Tuesday, when our own Rob Kehoe will have a special interview with both Pete Caringi Jr. and Pete Caringi III, as well as some highlights from the Human Highlight Reel this year. Caringi III, is this one played back to Sean Davis. 6 goals already on the young season for Caringi. Here's another shot by Duke, and Duke has settled in nicely in front of this big, raucous crowd. In fact, almost finally silenced the crowd just a little bit here.
Well, it did, and anytime you get a goal against the runner play, which is what happened at the time, it becomes an opportunity for everything to change, no matter what's been happening. And again, when it's a young team and a young back four, or even back five, if you will, for Maryland, the chances of them breaking again or higher.
Boy, I love this battle that we're seeing here between two Herman Trophy candidates. Sebastian Ibiaga going 1v1 against Patrick Mullins and vice versa. You're seeing great attacking and just as good defending here, Keith.
Well, not only seeing two Mac Herman a finalist right now or a watch list, you're also seeing the ACC Offensive Player of the Year versus the ACC Defensive Player of the Year from 2012.
Here comes a substitution. Platichuk is coming out and making way for number 10, Luis Rendon, who is, boy, highly heralded, came in as the 2011 National Player of the Year. Really sort of struggled just trying to find his way, but John Kerr feels like when the light comes on, this kid could be dangerous.
Well, this kid can be dangerous when the light comes on, and he was playing for Region 1 ODP in Florida at the Disney Cup down there, and that's when the light came on the first time, and he took over that tournament, and that led him towards the youth national teams, and he was one of the top players of the under-18 national team, and I have no doubts he is going to turn it on. An absolutely talented attacking player. And he actually came up through FC Richmond. Dave Amsler, his coach, doing a great job with Luis.
Dean Linke alongside longtime Georgetown soccer coach Keith Batsink, who's played a few games up here in College Park. Played up top. Now the big man Pace is in there. He's already got 2 goals on the season. Comes in at about 210 pounds. Just a giant on the right side. Great tackle there. Robbed a lot. And this one will go out of bounds. A good shield by the Duke Blue Devils. And I'll tell you what, give John Kerr's Duke Blue Devils a whole lot of credit coming in here.
Yeah, well, again, they came off a good weekend, so their confidence was high. Obviously, last year, a 500 season, and they're really looking forward to the challenge tonight. They're certainly meeting it.
All right, Keith, we'd like to thank Choice Hotels, the official hotel sponsor of the NSCAA. Wherever the game takes you, Choice Hotels makes getting there easy. Visit choicesportstravel.com to book your hotel today. The scoreline here in front of a raucous crowd at Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland. It's the Duke Blue Devils 1 and Maryland 0, and you're watching live on NSCAA TV. Rendon in a battle there with Chris Odui-Atcham. Boy, only Sasho Sarasi could pull it off, where he's got a freshman goalkeeper, 3 freshmen in the back, and a sophomore, and still come in as the team to beat for the national championship. Talk about just, boy, reloading every single year.
Well, I think one of the things is with Maryland is the success they have obviously just attracts players who want to come here, so they get a deep bench. If we remember last year, the game that we had on the Game of the Week, 19 players went into the game for Maryland. I watched them play earlier in the year where there were 21 players that got in when they played UCLA. When you have that sort of depth, the freshmen are going to see some playing time. The fact that somebody on the field right now is his challenge.
Maryland's finished in the top 15 in the final NSCAA poll for 11 straight seasons, and they've advanced to the postseason 12 straight years. No other school's done that more than 5 consecutive seasons. Tough ball. One back by Mullins and sent out of there by Ibiaga as we're counting down 5 minutes and change left here in the first half. The big man now number 20 is Jake Pace. Sent across. They'll be looking to try to get it in the air to Pace. Keep in mind, Pace is a man, you don't see this combination every day. Won 99 wrestling matches in high school and would have topped 100 easy if not for traveling all over the place playing soccer. I mean, you just never hear of that combination, particularly at that elite level. As Mr. Pace, I mean, he just is a monster out there.
No, he is, and you're right. That's not the combination you usually hear. You may have soccer, lacrosse, or something like that, but not soccer and wrestling. And Jake Pace he was always big as a youth player as well, and just a force. He played actually when he came here. They tried to make him into a defender, because of his size. They put him back up top, and he certainly scored a lot of important goals the last couple of years for Maryland.
Sasho calls him his super sub. We'll talk more at halftime and either in the second half about the NSCAA convention, but registration is open. It's going to be huge in Philly. It'll feel like what it feels right here at Ludwig Field. It'll be a packed house, so register now when you can. Go to nscaa.com. 1-0 Duke There you see it in Philadelphia, January 15th.
And we will remind you about the convention every single time that we can, because it's such a fantastic opportunity to get together with a lot of coaching colleagues and a lot of coaching education going on and everything in Philadelphia. And, of course, as you and me know, Dean, cheesesteaks as well up there.
Well said, Keith. Boy, that last defensive play by Ibiaga just absolutely picking the pocket of Patrick Mullins. Both coaches are on the corner of their coach's box. John Kerr, Jr., is a fantastic player at Duke and played for the U.S. national team overseas, came back to play in Major League Soccer and returned to his alma mater and is building something here again, as following the footsteps of the legendary John Rennie, one of the all-time greats as well.
Oh, absolutely, and Duke honored John Rennie, I guess, by winning the John Rennie Invitational in the opening weekend.
2 minutes left here. Duke has looked very good.
Well, what Duke did do was absorb that pressure. It dodged a couple bullets. Obviously, that ball hits the post and, it comes out, a whole different story than had it been a couple inches the other side. But since that time, it's been 2 shots each since Duke scored to go ahead, and certainly the game has leveled out quite a bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think even John Kerr would say Maryland had more of the play. They had the shot by Crognale off the post as well. They were end-to-end, but as you said, cruel game. And Duke comes in here, takes advantage of a free kick, sneaks one by the young freshman Stephen, and there we are, 1-0 with less than 2 minutes here in the first half.
Now, of course, Dean, they got to play this last minute and a half out as well, because Maryland is going to go for it. They're getting everybody up here for this long ball. They'll try to keep it in, win the second ball. And sometimes they play that ball up there just to find a mistake and keep it in. One of the things they've been so successful at over the years.
Handball on Metzger. .60 seconds left here in the first half. Brought to you on NSCAA TV by the good folks at Continental Tire. Here comes Maryland for that last run. Keith Tabatsnik said, don't close the door if there's seconds on the clock. Maryland will use every one of them. Sent back across, falls to Mullins. He goes down. No whistle. The crew wants a call. They won't get it. Like a good non-call for sure. Played back here. Quick throw in. On the turn. 8 seconds left. Still loose. It'll fall. They'll have a shot at it. It'll bounce back, and Duke able to survive that last foray by the Maryland Terps. Sasso Soroski wants a call of some sort, and he is animated there with the 4th official.
Yep.
And how about the Duke Blue Devils on top 1-0 here in the first half?
Well, they absorbed the pressure for a while at the beginning of the game. They absorbed the pressure that last 30 seconds as well. And, and so a little bit fortunate right at the end there. Maybe a foul somewhere. Sasha wanted something. I don't know if it was on the foul or if it was on the, a handball or something before that.
Gentlemen,
sure.
Can you hear me?
All right, Dean Linke here with Keith Tabatsnik as we get ready to talk to John Kerr, the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils. As
give us just a second, Dean.
Still.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing about John is he's waiting to get on the air right now. He's certainly going to be feeling pretty good halftime at Maryland to be leading right now, after all that pressure that they had.
All right, now we're joined here by John Kerr, the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils. And, John, I'll tell you what, survived that attack. What a great finish, though, by Sean Davis.
Yeah, wonderful finish. He's been really working on his free kicks, and he scored one in preseason this year, and he's got a great eye for openings and execution.
Well, I tell you, John, you told me, though, that his yardage was 25 yards. That was at least 30, I think. You're not giving your players enough credit.
I guess you're right, yeah.
But in all seriousness, a lot of credit in the fact that they absorbed quite a bit of pressure right before that goal.
Yeah, Maryland's playing great. They're a tough team to play against, obviously, and we have been resilient in defense. In the second half, we have to do a better job of keeping the ball and getting around it and playing some soccer. But, we're holding our own. We're doing things well defensively. We just got to get hold of the ball and get some more attacks going.
All right, John, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
John Kerr, the fine head coach of the Duke Blue Devils here on NSCAA TV.com. And, of course, this game is presented by Continental Tire, as Continental Tire proud to be the presenting sponsor of College Soccer Night on NSCAA TV.com. Halftime here at Ludwig Field. It's Duke 1 and Maryland 0, and we'll have more right here on NSCAA TV.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through a coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com.
Everyone knows that wood flooring cleans up so much easier than carpet. But worse than those stubborn stains is that your carpet can be home to countless germs and allergens. And the kids spend a lot of time on your floor. At Lumber Liquidators, we'll show you just how beautiful and affordable hardwood and laminate flooring can be. Shop online or at your local store. Lumber Liquidators. Treat yourself to a beautiful floor.
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
The broadcast of this match is authorized by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of the NSCAA is strictly prohibited. Tonight's match was produced for the NSCAA by Turbo Sports Group. We got more games coming up on NSCAATV.com, but before we get there, how about the Disney Soccer Player of the Week? There it is, Turbos. There's Pete Caringi III. He is the forward from UMBC, and as we mentioned, 2 more goals yesterday, and what a great job he's done, Keith.
Yeah, and I will be up there in Baltimore tomorrow to be able to see him. And, of course, we have the game of the week, Rio Grande and Belhaven coming up. And, Dean, what do you have, too, coming up? Duke women, I believe, as well on Thursday. And
indeed, Duke and Miami on Thursday from Koskinen Stadium. You see it right there. That is women's soccer. The Duke women, led by Robbie Church, welcome in Miami for a big ACC matchup right here on NSCAATV.com. All right, your score here from Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland, is the Duke Blue Devils on top of Maryland by a score of 1-0. We'll take a break and be back with more a little later on. It's halftime here in College Park.
The Terrapin Club provides scholarship support to hundreds of outstanding Maryland student athletes so they may go on to be champions in many different fields.
My name is Kevin, and I am a champion.
To fulfill the dreams of today's student athletes, we ask you to join the Terrapin Club and support those who represent the Terrapins with pride.
Because you never know, some of us might go on to build the next great performance athletic brand.
Help the Terrapin Club support our student athletes with vital education support. Join the Terrapin Club today.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at
Hey, Miss C. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I just don't want you boys to be late for your big game. Okay, have fun. I'll be right here after the game.
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
Ludwig Field as it's the Duke Blue Devils 1, Maryland 0. Now joined by the head coach of Maryland, Sasho Sorosky. And Sasho, soccer can be a crew game. You guys were dominant, and then they sneak one in.
No, you're right. I mean, soccer can change in an instant, and, Sean Davis hit a very nice free kick, and I'm not sure if our wall wasn't set right or if, maybe Zach reacted a little bit late, but that's immaterial. We played very, very well. We just got to execute a little bit. We're unlucky. Maybe could have had a couple of goals. We're just going to continue to do our thing, and hopefully we can put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, Sasha, again, we talked before about the young back line that you have right now, and any concern about that with the fact that they really didn't have much to do but give up the one goal off the one foul of the game, actually.
Yeah, actually, I thought the back four were really outstanding. I thought some of our young kids really grew up a lot from last week. I think they were quite good. I think we just, we played a very good game, very good half, and we're a bit unlucky. So we're going to continue to maybe raise it a little faster and a little crisper in the final third, and hopefully we can get one back here and get back in the game and hopefully pull it out here by the end.
Sasha, I can't let you go without talking about this unbelievable atmosphere, unbelievable crowd. They were tailgating at 1:30 today.
Well, I think there's about 3,000 people left outside, and I think if there's a statement game to say we need a new stadium, this is it. So I couldn't be more proud of the support we have here, and I'd like to treat them, and hopefully we can put the ball in the back of the net a little bit. So.
Well said. Congratulations on a great crowd. Good luck the rest of the way.
Bye-bye.
Sasho Sorosky, the head coach of the Maryland Terps. And, of course, the NSCAA TV Game of the Week is presented by Continental Tire. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. Learn more at continentaltire.com. Dean Linke along with Keith the Bat Snake. We're on NSCAA TV. It's got such a nice ring to it as we work out the kinks here. But, boy, I'll tell you what, setting the stage here in front of a record crowd, can't ask for much more than that, Keith.
No, you can't ask for much more. And interestingly, I tell you what, you can ask for one thing more because you did to Sasha. I mean, now he's asking for that stadium that he wants, and you gave him a good assist, a setup for that, actually. And it's true. They'd had a number of people who could not get in, for the game, and and what a shame that is, and hopefully they will get something in the future that can accommodate the amount of people that come to watch this, because this is a exciting, really exciting, good soccer game. And talking about third game of the season for both teams too, and they're still trying to find themselves out a little bit. And Sasha said he thought his back line did outstanding. I thought they did very well until after the goal. Then they bent a little bit, and Duke was fairly close getting in behind him a couple times after that, but. We'll see what happens. Like I said, is this crowd going to help them out or put more pressure on young players?
All right. Second half is underway here at Ludwig Field. Good stuff from Sasho Sorosky to start the second half. Good stuff from John Kerr at the end of the first half. As we're delighted to be with you here on NSCAATV.com. This one played all the way back to Zach Steffen.
And one of the things I do like about Duke right at the beginning of this half is the fact that they really stepped up there when the ball got into their attacking third. They lost it. They kept the pressure right on those players. I think that is certainly by design to try to put the young Maryland defenders under pressure. Hopefully nick a pass and get in for another chance.
We'll continue to watch this matchup as well with Patrick Mullins and Sebastian Ibiaga. Sonny Jane is back into the game. He was spelled there just a little bit by Shinsky. Couple minutes in here of the second half already. Played back in the middle. Schuma will take the shot on a dime. Kept it low, but handled there by the redshirt senior Long.
Yeah, but it was a really good idea for him to take that shot, because on that half turn, sometimes you catch the goalkeeper not being able to see the ball coming through until a little late. But as you said, he did not connect with that ball very well.
The Duke Blue Devils, coached by John Kerr, assisted by Michael Brady and Brian Amos. Maryland, Sasho Sorosky, assisted by Michael Delarusso and Brian Rowland. It's good to have Jason Gary up here with us in the first half, as well as it's the kind of place where the alumni like to come back to, and why not? Unbelievable crowd here at Ludwig Field. We'll keep you posted on what we think is a record crowd.
Well, if they're not letting people in and there's a few more seats here and there, we hope that it's a record crowd.
Well
Otherwise,
said,
open
Keith.
those gates up
Yeah,
again.
get them back in here. First Friday here at Ludwig Field is Sasso Swarovski not afraid to go on the road. Tough California trip. And it's a rare situation, as you said, where Maryland not with a winning record as they open up here. And they find themselves down, as you said. It's a cruel game, though. Dominant pretty much in the first half. I thought John Curry even said Maryland's a really good team and acknowledged as much. Here comes Maryland, though, trying to equalize. Played centrally to Sonny Jane. Overlapping run left side, the left back Ambrose. Ambrose likes to get it back on his left. Right now it's on his right. Can he turn on it? No, played it off his left. He really wanted to get it back to his left, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure he should have gone to his right to begin with because he actually had the left to go down, and even if it was an early cross behind the defense.
Metzger does a good job to keep it alive. This one deflected. Can they finish? Bouncing around. Corner kick, Maryland.
Yeah, I tell you, Alex Long did a good job getting in the way of that because it looked like that was going to get by him, and he got some piece of his body there to stop that ball from going by.
Sonny Jane will take the corner kick. The Crew on their feet behind the goal, looking for the equalizer. We've seen some dramatic games here as part of the NSCAA Game of the Week. Could it be another one? Sent back across. Maryland, a fixture on the NSCAA Game of the Week schedule, and no different here on NSCAA TV. Sebastian Ibiaga will get low to head it out. Maryland continuing to fight. Let's see if Duke can counter. Played in the space. Great move by So-In Kim. Kept alive. Jimmy Dole trying to run it down, but Duke will track all the way back as Maryland plays it back to their goalkeeper, Steffen. Duke trying the counterattack. One back here by Coleman. Coleman gets the start. We thought the story of Thomas Coulter would also play out. We'll see if we'll see him, a redshirt senior from England who's in the business school at Duke. Sent in his tapes, wasn't really anything special. John Kerr said come out, and Thomas Coulter started the first two games for Duke.
No, absolutely. And again, he gets Alex Long like that, almost a gift coming in, and then this Thomas Coulter, University of Bath, and just comes in. He's just going to Duke for school and says, hey, they got a soccer thing. Let's see what it's all about. Gets 2 starts already. I'm sure he's going to see a bunch of playing time. Jack Coleman coming off injury, actually, and so this is probably the most minutes he's played so far. And I think the issue that John Kerr's going to have is that difficult issue of whether you take out a defender if he thinks things are going well.
Here comes Rob Delott. Heitema is the center forward. He's running down the middle. Jimmy Dole will try to keep it alive. That's So-In Kim, number 23. So-In Kim, highly heralded out of Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, near the NSCAA offices in Kansas City. Ibiaga in a bat over there far side with Shiloh Shuma. Shuma. They'll say it goes off of Shuma and it'll come back to Duke. Shuma does not like that call. They're getting noisy here.
Yeah, well, they want a goal to really get noisy because they're trying to get Maryland to go, and they almost had that right off to the beginning. As you know, this crowd, we've been here a lot of times, and Maryland does not find themselves behind in games at Ludwig Field too often. They are now, so we're going to see the crowd try to help them through that and get back on the board. I'd be like we said before, I'd be really surprised if Maryland doesn't get a goal, just with the pressure that they were put on there. But I would say again, it hasn't been because of a lot of rhythm. And when you don't have a lot of rhythm going, it's not like you're forcing the opposing defense to spend a ton of energy chasing the ball around. I think that's one of the things is Duke's probably feeling almost as fresh as they did right at the beginning of the game because they're just defending, almost the free kicks and things like that, not side to side and all.
That was a hard tackle as Chauncey Mathers goes down. Still no card issued, though. Could have been one right there. Hard tackle came in, taking Mathers out. Took his feet out from under him.
And one thing is certainly Duke is going to take their time on most things. Not really so that they're killing the clock for the end of the game, but make sure that they don't allow Maryland to get into that high pressure against them.
Starting to feel like a nice, cool fall day in Heitema here now with the yellow card. Andrew Chapin giving him a little lecture as well. And one more warning for Heitema. Brody Heitema, freshman from British Columbia, and he will be a target on this free kick from the big man Eggleston. Eggleston booms a right footer. Heitema is there. Palachuk is also there. Here's on the turn as Mathers came crashing in near the end line.
I tell you, Mathers not crashing in, but just getting a cross off that you didn't think he was going to be able to get to. You know, could have caught anybody by surprise, somebody right in front of the goal. Or caught his Duke players by surprise, too. That's why they weren't there.
Quick restart. Ibiaga was tracking back with Sonny Jane the entire way, and it'll fall back to Long. Boy, I like the moves John Kerr has made, though, deciding to bring Eggleston back from his holding midfield. So Kim is in. So Kim can finish. What a save. A big-time save from the freshman, keeping Maryland in this one. Remember that play. What a great stop there by Steffen.
No, absolutely. I mean, he came out there, held his ground, and just a fantastic reaction save on that, because that looked like, hey, somehow they got in behind that defense. And by the way, that's what was happening last weekend with Stanford going in scoring 3 goals against Maryland, a 3-3 tie. But things just happened so easy, and that seemed so easy for Duke all of a sudden. But you're right, mark what that was, because that could be a changing point in everything in this game.
Eggleston. Massive crowd here in College Park. Zach Steffen keeping Maryland in it as once again a little bit of a lapse, and So-In Kim almost able to capitalize. I'll tell you, Maryland's the kind of team where you definitely need to put that away. Here's a shot and a goal. Endo answers, and it's tied at 1. Tsubasa Endo from Tokyo.
I'll tell you the issue there, Dean, is Duke just allowed him to keep coming in. And, you know, he's dribbling the ball, waiting for someone to step to him. No one steps to him, so why not? Struck that ball. I couldn't tell whether there was a little deflection there or not, but it certainly seemed to change direction. Had Long going one way initially, and then the ball sneaking into the other side. And again, you talk about that save on the other end. So instead of 2-0, we now have 1-1.
Just like that. I'll tell you, Maryland's the kind of team where you definitely need to put that away. Here's a shot and a goal. Endo answers, and it's tied at 1. Tsubasa.
This will get him back. We were talking about how the crowd was trying to get Maryland back into the game and helping them out. Well, I think Maryland doing the same thing for the fans, getting them back into the game with that goal.
Ambrose. Shuma taking down by Ibiaga as Ibiaga climbed right up over Shuma. Now the crowd is going crazy as we are tied at 1. The Crew.
See them there. They're talking a little bit to Alex Long there, trying to take his focus away and talking about how they think he's playing right now.
Here's the goal scorer, Endo. Dangerous opportunity here for Maryland. Far post, Long will punch it high. It'll fall. Kept alive by Ambrose, sent back, and headed out of there neatly by Coleman. Here comes the other way, Heitema. Tracking back on him was Likevang. Good defense by Likevang. Making the run on the right side is Palachuk, left side Delot. Delot, can he stay with it? No. Picked right out of there by the big man. What a great tackle by the 6'5" man from Ohio. This one sent too long. Did they earn a corner? Corner kick, Maryland, just like that.
There wasn't. What happened there is as Duke's going down on the counterattack, nobody's joining them in the attack. So it was really 1 versus 3. 1 versus 1 at the beginning, and then the Maryland players recover. Duke needed to really spend some energy getting some guys down to join them. They had a good opportunity in the open field.
Sonny Jane taking his time to come over for the corner kick. As you're watching NSCAA TV from Ludwig Field, a capacity crowd here. They had to close the gates. The fire marshals were here. Jane with that left foot, far post lurking. Off the head of Davis. Corner kick other side for Maryland. Do they do it quickly? Ambrose wants it. Ambrose is still open. He still wants it. The goal scorer, though, Endo says no. He's going to serve it with his right. Endo, driven across hard. Ibiaga will clear it. A swing and a miss, basically, there, though, by Likevang.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't play it out to Ambrose. It was 2 versus 0, 2 versus 1 even still. And when they do that, it pulls some defenders out of that middle, but it's so clogged up. And I know they feel like they can get chances here, but they'll still get the cross in and just have more space to attack it.
Endo, high arcing ball, far side, right to the foot of Jane. That's one of the areas where Jane gets sometimes a little too cute, Keith. He's such a key part of the Maryland success.
Just waiting to see what happened there, Dean. But no, I think the thing with Sonny Jane so much is that he has so much flash into his play, but still how much comes at the end of that. He has to really be able to produce something at the end, whether it's getting a good ball in or getting the shot off for for a goal or a shot on target, because he really doesn't get a whole lot of stats with all the stuff that he does.
Now we'll see how Duke will settle in here. As a record crowd seen right here on just the second weekend of NSCAATV.com as it relates to the college soccer special. 8,397 as just reported by Rob Kehoe. Wow, look at him right here. I'll tell you what, Keith, we can say we're here. Unbelievable crowd.
Well, we've been here for a number of record crowds, actually, and Duke's been part of a couple of the record crowds. Again, they love having Duke come up here.
Ambrose, pretty good ball. Looking for the head of Shuma. Likevang wins that second ball.
I was talking with John Kerr earlier today. He was saying, we don't know what kind of crowd we think we hear it might be as much as 12,000. Well, if they count the people that are outside the gates, it might be 12,000, but have over 8,000 for this. And there's been, once again, some outstanding crowds all through the country in the opening weekend also.
Left side. Jane has moved over here. Jane, can he dance? He can. How did he do that? Inside the box, pounding around. Fans going crazy, still pinging around, still loose. Corner kick, Maryland.
Well, I guess he must have been listening. Somebody told him what we were talking. He needs to have something happening after all the wheeling and dealing, and that time he got a very good cross in.
Indeed, well said, Keith. Corner kick, Maryland, tied at 1.
And Andy Chapin, the referee's having a little talk with a few of the Duke players.
They stop the clock while he gives his lecture series. 3-time national champs, Maryland in '68, then again in 2005 and 2008. They've been to 8 of the last 15 college cups. Endo sent across again, this time handled by Long, who has been feeling the pressure here as the second half, just 15 minutes underway.
I tell you, it's funny, you just said just 15 minutes underway, and the way the second half has been going back and forth, it seems like it's already been about 30 minutes. It's so much action going on. And Maryland tying it up, and right after Duke had the chance to go up 2-0 again. We talk about the cruel game in the first half where, Duke gets ahead and probably against the run of play, and then right after Duke could have doubled their score, all of a sudden we're tied.
Quick throw in to Mullins. Ibiaga's done a pretty good job on the Herman Trophy winner. Maryland back with the throw in. DeLotte. DeLotte will lose it. Back across, who's home? Sonny Jane was there, and this will go out of bounds. Remind everybody that registration for the 2014 NSCAA convention is now open. Join 10,000 of your coaching peers for soccer's biggest party this January 15th through 19th in Philadelphia. We guarantee that you'll learn something new from the world's best clinicians and gain new connections by attending one of the many networking socials. You can even get your coaching diplomas during the week. Visit nscaa.com/convention for all of the event details. Ambrose plays it into space. Mullins flicking it. Jimmy Dahl comes back over, the holding mid. He's got a bright future at Duke for John Kerr's Duke Blue Devils.
No, he does. I mean, already starting all 3 games right off the bat. And, you know, he said he played for the Region 1 Olympic Development Program, then went on to DC United's Academy. And it's always hard. It's hard to step in to college as programs like this as a freshman, especially when you're in that center midfield. And it's such an important role to try to allow Sean Davis to kind of run the show out there as the midfield. He does a lot of the work for Sean.
Coleman steps up to take it away from Jane. Counterattack for a second by Mathers and taken right back away, though, by Leichfang, who is Helge Leichfang has looked good at that holding mid spot here for Sasho Soroski. And talking about the fact that a couple years ago, Leichfang made a ton of starts, has worked his way back in the lineup. Heitema was offside. Keith the Batsik with the flag up here in the booth.
Yeah, well, right in front of us, it was easy to see. And, you know, again, the one thing, worth a try to put that ball through. You know, Heitema, if he could have just held a little bit, you know, has a chance to go through there. A lot of territory to cover once he gets the ball, but we'll hold on one sec with that thought.
Yeah, great ball by Schuma. Played it back, got it right back. Then Schuma on the turn. Sent back across as Metzger. Danny Metzger playing out wide. He's the junior from Staten Island, New York. Part of the U.S. U18 program. Also played with the Red Bulls. The Red Bulls has been a pipeline to Maryland.
We got Alex Shinsky back into the game for Sonny Jane.
I'm not sure what they're saying, the crew here.
I hear it loud and clear. I believe that we will win is what they're saying, actually. And they do believe it because Maryland usually does when they play here at Ludwig Field. But I was saying the one thing, Maryland will win if Duke does not get a hold of the ball. And that's what I was trying to get at before is that, you know, they went straight for a counterattack that one time, but they need to hold the ball again and make Maryland chase and defend a little bit. Also bring some confidence back into their game. That's a little bit better for them until that pass.
Shiloh Schuma has Mullins in front of him, making a run right down the middle as well. Shinsky is in. Boy, what a great run by Shinsky.
No, it wasn't. They got a corner off of that. It looked like that was a goal kick, but referee Andrew Chapin says it came off of the defender.
All because Alex Shinsky never stopped his run right down the middle of the field. Tsubasa Endo, who had the equalizer here in the second half, right after it looked like So-In Kim would give Duke a 2-0 lead. Sent across, it's trouble, it's in, and Maryland with Leichfang has taken the lead. Or is it Mullins? 2-0 Maryland.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that ball right in there, the last time they put the corner kick in, it looked like Long had caught it, you know, fairly low down. I kind of wonder why no one's challenging. This time they do.
Are here in the second half, right after it looked like So-In Kim would give Duke a 2-0 lead. Sent across, it's trouble, it's in, and Maryland with Leichfang has taken the lead.
So much pressure,
or is it Mullins?
You know, it seems like something was certainly going to be happening. You know, and there they get one there, and you know, every time this crosses are coming in, Long is coming out for the ball. He's got, you know, punched it out one time, not very far. Then the next time he catches, this one comes right in between.
Yeah, it was Helge Leichfang. That's who I thought it was. It's Leichfang with the goal, and Leichfang with the first goal of the season. And it's 2-1 Maryland.
The referee playing on, almost puts them through.
coming back from 1 goal down here at halftime with 2 goals in the second half in front of it. Equalizer here in the second half, right after it looked like So-In Kim would give Duke a 2-0 lead. Sent across, it's trouble, it's in, and Maryland with Likevang has taken the lead. Or is it Mullins? 2-0 Maryland.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that ball right in there, the last time they put the game.
Haitama. So-In Kim trying to find Palatichuk. Palatichuk can't get to it as Ambrose stays with it. Here comes Mikey Ambrose. What a weapon to have at your left back.
Yeah, and they're glad to have him back because you know he was obviously starting, but he had got knocked hard, maybe a slight concussion or whatever. They're a little worried about that, and then back in the lineup today, and you know he's the one with the experience in the Maryland lineup, despite being just a sophomore.
Shinsky. Great ball in. Endo crosses it back. Is it 3-1? It is! And Maryland with Patrick Mullins with another goal in front of the Crew, lead it 3-1.
Well, we just said that at Maryland trying to put this put this game away, and they're certainly doing that. This is one of the first, actually the first time we've said Patrick Mullins' name this half, and it's on a goal. Getting in on the end of it, and Duke is at all with the all over the place, spread out defensively, and like I said, they never got a hold of that ball, and so just giving Maryland the chance to keep coming at them. Let's see if we can get another look at Mullins' goal, and that would be his second. It is his second goal of the season, coming off 17 goals last year. Mac Herman Trophy winner, and here it comes. Just the
back is a 3-1. It is. And Maryland with Patrick Mullins with another goal in front of the Crew, lead it 3-1.
Well, we just said that at Maryland trying to put this put this game away, and they're certainly doing that. This is one of the first, actually the first time we've said Patrick Mullins' name this half, and it's on a goal.
Crew fans loving it here at College Park. Now Maryland on top 3-1. So Tyler McDaniel now coming in for Jack Coleman. And Rendon also coming in. Looking for a penalty kick here. The fans loving it. Celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Crew yesterday. Sasso Soroski at the last minute invited the Crew out here. He wasn't sure how many they were going to expect. They gave away 1,800 scarves, and Sasso Soroski saying he shook every single one of their hands along with the team. Unbelievable following they've developed here at College Park.
Well, one of the things, Dean, is a number of coaches have set the examples, for getting these crowds out. And Sasso Soroski here, Tim Von Steeg, and Santa Barbara, and that's just naming a couple. Obviously, UConn has always had the great crowds back from the Joe Maroney days onwards. But what has happened is everyone wants to compete with that. And so they're building better soccer facilities, doing more to publicize the games, and the crowds all over the place are just getting bigger and bigger every year. And we've had so many games of the week where that particular school has set their record crowd that night.
McDaniel, part of a big-time Duke family. Their dad, David, played at Duke. His brothers Ryan and Austin also played at Duke. And now Tyler played for the Duke Blue Devils. This one could be 4-1. Oh, my. Over the crossbar. Ambrose crashing in. Everybody getting involved for Maryland as they look dominant here in the second half.
Well, they're feeling good right now. And like you said, when that save happened at the other end, Zach Stefan make that save, and you said mark that time, and that really was a turning point right there. I think that kind of gave a little bit of juice to Maryland, took a little bit out of Duke as well. It looks like all of a sudden they're going to be up 2-0. It's a little deflating, and Maryland took advantage of that big play by Zach Stefan.
Coming into the game now for Duke, Matt Slotnick, number 7, as Chachi Mathers will go to the bench, and we'll see what John Kerr does here. Endo left side, marked there by McDaniel. Talked about the strong heritage, the Duke family, the McDaniels, outstanding members of the Blue Devil family. 3 brothers, and now their sister Courtney also plays for the Duke Blue Devils women's soccer team for Robbie Church. A team we'll see on Thursday right here on NSCAA TV as the Duke Blue Devils welcome in Miami.
And that substitute bringing Slotnick in. Slotnick's one-on-one player, good person going at defenses. They need to make something happen. It's not happening as a team. They may need some individuals to do it, but for sure we'll see Chachi Mathers back in the game as well before it ends. College soccer rules in the second half. You can go back in a second time, and then you're done once you come out after that.
Throw in for Duke. McDaniel trying to find So-In Kim, who settled more now centrally. This will somehow find the big man Pace, 280 pounds, only 6% body fat. Talking to his dad before the game, the former wrestler who wrestled at 215, 1 step under the heavyweight level, 99 wins in high school. Foul on Maryland. 208 pounds. I may have said 280.
I think you might have said 208. I'm glad it was, because if he's 280, that's a really good-looking 280 he's got going there.
Definitely did not mean to say 280. He's a lean, mean 208. This one will drop in. Mullins, can he get another one? Oh, my. Just wide. Flag stayed down as well.
Yeah, that would have brought the crowd to its feet if that had gone in, of course, for goal number 4.
Youth clubs and players want to be noticed by the top college programs, and the NSCAA can help. Through its partnership with Elite Tournaments, the NSCAA College Showcase connects you with college coaches so you can show off your talents. Clubs, players, and college coaches can find more information at nscaa.com/events.
Well, when you hear that crowd roaring, it's not just the crew, it's not just the people in the stands on either side. As Alex Long gets that one. It's also, Dean, aside from the 8,397 inside the stadium, there's a ton of people on the hills outside the stadium as well. And I don't know if they have to pay any admission or anything like that, but, you know, maybe that's where they build the next set of stands.
That's a great point. Sasso Swarovski said a couple thousand couldn't get in. Endo. He got it started here in the second half. Shinsky now. Shinsky's looked good off the bench. Look at Shinsky. Slice and dice. Boy, Mullins, if he just keeps going with that, he's in. They move Mullins out wide right when they bring in the big man Pace.
I think Mullins plays, you know, whether his most comfortable position is up top or out wide. If it's out wide, it's probably out left is the most comfortable place for him to play at the next level. You know, fairly pure left-footed player. I think strikes one of the best left foot in the whole country, if not the best. But you know, he played a lot in his early years simply as the left midfielder going forward. We have down for Duke. So-In Kim, the freshman from Kansas City. He played with Sporting Kansas City Academy. And he will be attended to by the Duke trainer. We got 18 minutes left in the game. I think, in a way, Duke's probably happy that they have this player down, a built-in timeout that they kind of need right now to try to get rid of the momentum that Maryland has put on them. And it's just been all Maryland, you know, especially since that shot was saved. This has been just a downhill run for Maryland, creating chance after chance. Mullins just missing putting the game away a few minutes ago. Talking about Jake Pace, and this last summer were the Maccabiah games in Israel, and Jake Pace played on the U.S. team that won the gold medal in Israel for the U.S. Maccabiah team. So congratulations to Jake Pace and to all the members of the U.S. Maccabea team.
And, of course, you mentioned the USA Costa Rica tonight down in Costa Rica, big-time matchup.
Big matchup where there's a slim chance if everything fell into place that we could actually qualify for Brazil tonight. But if we don't, hopefully we will qualify when we play Mexico on Tuesday. Good luck to Jurgen Klinsmann and the U.S. team tonight down in Costa Rica.
Solin Kim will make his way over to the bench here. Headed out by Maryland. They lead it 3-1. Pace, 208, not 280. Coming at it. Look at him go. Somehow keeps it alive. The big man can move. Marked over here by Ibiaga. Pace, give and go here now with Endo. Taken to the ground there. He will get that call. It'll be a free kick for Maryland and a yellow card for McDaniel. And it's all Maryland right now.
Completely. Duke has really got to get themselves together, because not just for what could happen in this game, but just for some confidence that when they are down in a game that they're able to come back and be able to try to get back into their own game and their own rhythm.
Endo. Over here with Ambrose. Ambrose interested with that left. Pretty good ball. Trouble for Long. Bouncing around. Back to Long. As crashing down there was the big man, number 2, Alex Crognali. And Crognali, I tell you what, man, there's a guy, what another weapon at 6'5" coming forward on those free kicks, Crognali.
Well, you said it in the first half, the one who headed the ball off the post for Maryland coming forward.
Shinsky, good ball into space to Pace. Pace wearing 2-0, marked by McDaniel, checks back, squares it here centrally now. Likefeng. Likefeng has a goal in this one. Some great substitutions here in the second half by Sasho Sarovsky, Keith the Batsing, pushing all the right buttons to climb back in this one and now take a 2-goal lead when it could have been 2-0 Duke.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, every substitution is a good decision, and sometimes the players make it that it's a great one as well. But certainly this time they come off the bench. That's the reason you go into the game. You're supposed to make your team better when you go into the game.
Duke not done making some changes here. As we mentioned, Thomas Coulter from England will get into the game here. Another dangerous opportunity by Likefang, who has looked good at the holding mid spot. 16 and change, and at the moment it's all Maryland in front of an all-time record crowd. And as Rob Kehoe, the director of college programs for the NSCAA, pointed out, it could be 10,000 plus easy here watching this one.
As you said, Thomas Coulter has come in, and this is the player transferred from the University of Bath in England. Showed up on John Kerr's doorstep to try out for the team, and he's gotten some playing time. Started the first 2 games last week in the John Rennie Invitational that Duke won, going 1-0-1, tying Rutgers, and that was Chachi Mather scoring with 11 seconds left to put that game into overtime, and then defeating Northeastern to win the John Rennie Invitational title.
Shiloh Schumo will now replace the reigning Herman Trophy winner, Patrick Mullins, who added another goal. He's got 2 in 3 games. Little pat on the back for Sasho Sarovsky as head coach. Decided to come back for his senior year. A lot of people question that, but academics and the experience here at College Park brought him back.
Yeah, brought him back. Like I said before, you certainly had a reason to do either one of those decisions. And, I think he's a player, there's probably no question, avoid injury and that sort of thing, that he's going to be a high draft pick and have quite a good opportunity to put himself into position for a good professional career. But there's always going to be the talk about whether, the timing of whether you should go out or not, if that's what you want to do is play professional soccer.
Shiloh Shuma. Flag stays down. Ibiaga wanted it, ran out of bounds though. Davis trying to find Heitema. Good ball from Heitema. Played into space here. Down the right side. Here comes Slotnick. Look at Ambrose. He can just make up so much space. The speedy left back, just a sophomore is Ambrose.
I see in the game also for Duke, right there slipping on the ball, Jonathan Aguirre was a senior for them, also coming off injury.
Yeah, he's got a groin injury that's bothered him quite a bit. Was limited in practice this week when I went over there to Durham.
You know, when you miss players like that in a game like this, you know, where he wasn't in from the beginning and things are going bad. I mean, this is a senior, you know, 51. This is 52nd game for Duke. Is having that experience in there. You absolutely need that on the road in the ACC.
13 minutes and change left in this one.
So Maryland appears to be bouncing back from an opening weekend where they're 0-1-1 out in California, losing to Cal and tying Stanford. Another team who bounced back, Georgetown lost their opener against Cal, then defeated Stanford, and today has defeated West Virginia 3-0.
That one too long. It'll be a throw in here now for Duke.
You know, the thing about this, Dean, is that while this game, this half has been all Maryland at the same time, if Duke could find a way to, you know, to get a goal, you know, any old way, they got the free kick before, whether it's a counterattack or something, you know, then all of a sudden it's a whole different dynamic for the last 10 minutes of the game. And I know I am not going to say that overtime word. We had two of them last week. Oh, I won't jinx this. I'll say that, it, you know, let's just say, Dean, it's definitely going to go to overtime, and then it won't, right? You know?
Pace. Pace just gives a totally different look for this Maryland team. Drop back out wide. Here's Pace. Gets his head on it. Snaps it. Deflected off of Duke and handled there by Long. Jake Pace has really worked on his fitness. Heitema has Slotnick. Heitema will take a shot. Almost deflected, but deflected out of bounds. Almost deflected in, that is. Corner kick here now for Duke. And this is exactly what Keith DeBatzing's talking about. Duke can squeeze one in here, and anything's possible as they go back to their bench now and bring in number 3, Jack Coleman, back into the game. As they'll take out Rendon. Coleman takes the corner kick. Ibiaga way beyond the far post. Aguirre does just enough defending to slow it down for a little bit. Played up top quickly by Maryland. They counter as quickly as any team in the country. Outside of his foot, Shinsky. Almost elbowed a spring Shuma. That would have been something. Actually, that was the right back, Chris Odui Atcham, making that long run.
Going down, yeah. We're breaking out from a corner kick. You know, anyone with a bit of speed can get on the other end of it, and so much space because of the amount of players that Duke committed forward for the corner.
Handball on Danka. Let's see what Duke can do with this. Are they going to wait for white jerseys? They are. Good decision by Coleman. Coleman will leave it. Ibiaga will come forward now. And Davis will take a look, Keith.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Now, they really need to get a dangerous ball in here. So the last corner kick really didn't give them a chance. And like I said, they committed so many people forward that gave Maryland a counterattack opportunity.
Yellow card issued on Shuma, slowing the game down a little bit. Sasho Soroski does not like that call. This one's sent in. It's dangerous. Steffen came out for a second, tracked back. Aguirre keeps it alive. Now cleared, though, by Maryland. Rob DeLotte will run it back. DeLotte will send it in. Ibiaga stays forward. Flick to Coleman, too strong. They'll say they'll off Maryland. They'll stop the clock with a player down. And Sonny Jane will come back on.
So we got a bit of fight going by Duke right now to get in and try to get one of these goals back. And put the pressure on Maryland for the final 10 minutes of this game. We're talking about the free kicks, that last free kick by Sean Davis. That's more what you're looking for, something that's in there that has a decent chance of something happening. You got Alex Shinsky down. And
I like what he brought to Sasho Soroski's team here, though, in the second half.
Well, the thing is, that for Shinsky, he's been doing that his career. He's a junior, but he's basically been a player off the bench all the time. A very talented player, one of the top recruits in the country when he came to Maryland as a freshman, and has been able to come off and give tremendous minutes every single year.
Coleman. Platachuk trying to keep it alive. Corner kick, Duke. Under 10 minutes to go. Plenty of time for the Duke Blue Devils, who have shown some fight and spirit here. Had the 1-0 lead. Almost made it 2-0. Big time save from Steffen. Sent across far post. Aguirre comes crashing in, and it'll come back to Maryland, though, Keith.
Yeah, once again, another corner kick that really didn't give them a chance. And he went into the game. Jack Coleman took both of these corner kicks, and they both haven't given a chance. And it's a deflating thing. And the only 2 corner kicks of the game that Duke has had in these last few minutes.
Patrick Mullins with a short break will come back in here now for Subasa Endo, and both Mullins and Endo with goals, along with Helge Leichfang. Those are your 3 goal scorers for the Maryland Terrapins. Duke Blue Devils got a first half goal on a brilliant free kick from number 6, Sean Davis. Shiloh Shuma has Jane on the left side. Jane marked by Coulter. Coulter tries to stay with him. Jane keeps it alive. Aguirre heads it out. Final time for Duke to come here as part of ACC play. Hard to believe, Keith Tabatsnik, as Maryland will enter the Big Ten next year.
No, exactly. And, of course, if Maryland Duke meet again this year, it'll be you try to go down to get a foul. And you have to say, if that's not a foul, then that's got to be a card for diving there. And referee Andy Chapin is talking to him about that as well. But as I was saying, if they play again, it'll be in the ACC tournament. If they play another time after that, it'll be the NCAA tournament.
This time, Shuma will get the call.
I thought he was very lucky not to got a yellow card there. There's referee Andy Chapin right on it, and clearly if it was no foul, then it was a dive.
Ambrose taking a look. Keeps it on the ground to Jane. Jane dancing. Coleman knocks it out. It'll be a corner kick, Maryland. And the students in both end zones here behind the goal have not sat down for a second here, Keith Tabatsnik.
No. You sit down here, or if you're my size, you're not going to see much of the game. Everybody just up and down the whole game and cheering them on. Our record crowd of just a little bit under 9,000. Andy Chapin having another conference with the Duke players.
Seven minutes, 5 seconds remaining in this one. We thank you for watching NSCAA TV. Ibiaga comes over to knock it away from Sonny Jane by another corner kick, and the clock will continue to wind down here as Maryland looking to get their first win of the season against the Duke Blue Devils. Both these teams will have identical records of 1-1-1 if the score stays where it is.
The corner for Maryland was put in by Jeremy Raley. You talked about him before, and he's put in a lot of good minutes in his time, starts a number of games as well. Very versatile player. And Sasha going to the bench, as you said, a little bit, getting some effective players coming in as they've needed them.
Coleman.
Well, 6 minutes left. Duke had those probably just 3 or 4 minutes worth where they felt a little bit of pressure going on trying to get a goal back, and unfortunately they could not get anything on target in that time, and 2 corner kicks and a free kick. And if we look back on it, Dean, it was that shot way back in the first half by Seon Kim, and then the save by Zach Steffen. That may have been the turning point for Maryland. Kept them in the game, and shortly after that they scored the goal to tie the game 1-0, and it's been just all Maryland ever since.
Played back to Long, feeling the pressure from Jane. Heitema does a good job, back to goal. Marked closely there by Danka. Davis, played to Aguirre. Aguirre with pace. Look at Aguirre, stay with it. But Aguirre, though, fouling Helge Laikvang. And now the crowd realizing that they're part of an all-time record crowd here at Ludwig Field, saluting themselves, and I don't blame them.
Well, the good thing about this, the opening game, to have the record crowd, and you can just expect it's going to keep coming and coming. And one of the big challenges now is where can they find some more seats to allow the rest of the people in that would like to see the games.
There are 4 minutes remaining. Don't forget about the NSCAA convention coming up in January 15th through the 19th. Maryland looking for more.
Well, Dean, you say don't forget the convention, but I got to give you the plug. Don't forget your review show every Tuesday on NSCAA TV as well. You tune in at 1 o'clock and find out the latest with the rankings from all the divisions, not just Division I.
Yeah, it's certainly not my review show, but good stuff by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America, presented by Continental Tire. The great thing about the show is it breaks down not just Division I, but Division II and III, and the junior colleges 1 and 3, and the NAIA. Every Tuesday, you can go back and watch the old shows as well.
Can't really pick it up, but they're saying something about Duke, Dean.
Duke will get the goal kick. Yeah, tune in on Tuesday. We'll talk to Amanda Cromwell, the head coach of UCLA. We'll have a special feature on the NAIA's Belhaven nationally ranked team. Rob Kehoe spends time with Pete Caringi Jr. and his son, the third, who has got 6 goals already on the season. We'll take a road trip with the Georgia women's soccer team and also spend some time with the New York University women's soccer team. That and more on the NSCAA Weekly Highlights and Ranking Show presented by Continental Tire. Down the right side, Maryland with the Jello jiggling on this one. They're feeling pretty secure. Kept down low. Could they get 4? If not for the save along, it would have been 4. On the turn there was Schuma looking for 1.
I'll tell you, Dean, shooting on the turn, it didn't look like it was that dangerous, but of course there were so many players between the ball and Long that he couldn't get a sight on that ball until it was past a few of them. It wasn't hit terribly hard, but it was going into the corner.
Ambrose comes over. Ambrose with his left foot, sent back in. Make no mistake, though, and I'm not just saying this because Duke is here. I think the Duke Blue Devils are a vastly improved team. They've got some athletes that are coming back from injury as well, and John Kerr putting it together for Duke. I think it'll be a decent season, although it's a tough conference. I think they'll do okay, Keith.
No, I think so, and even you was talking with Sasha earlier today who said that Duke is a very, very good team this year. they dealt with a ton of injuries last year. They do have to stay injury-free. The one thing about Duke is you're playing on the road in Maryland, and this type of result can happen to any team at any time here at Maryland. And Duke just simply needs to bounce back after this and, figure out what they can do the next time they get into a situation, where they haven't been able to get into the rhythm that they really needed to be in to have a chance to win here.
40 seconds left here. Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland, on the campus of the University of Maryland.
Well, Dean, we can certainly say that the crowd did not disappoint tonight. The crew and everyone else out in record numbers, and Maryland did not disappoint the crowd, bouncing back from their disappointing opening weekend out of California in fine fashion, winning this game today.
And they count it down in front of a record crowd of 8,397 on the first Friday for Maryland. It's the Terrapins 3 and Duke 1.
Yeah, and congratulations to Maryland. I mean, they were the dominant team the entire game, even when Duke was winning. And as Sasha came out at halftime and said, he was happy how they played and everything. They just have to get the ball in the net and get things going. Exactly what they did. Duke, on the other hand, has to figure out what they can do when things aren't going well for them. They got enough talent to figure something out for sure.
All right, well said. Your final score again, Maryland 3, Duke 1. We'll see you Thursday night as well from Duke when the Duke women welcome in Miami. For Rob Kehoe, the Director of College Programs for the NSCAA. My broadcast partner is Keith Tabatsik, the entire crew from Turbo Sports Group. I'm Dean Linke. A record crowd sees the home team Maryland knock off Duke by a score of 3-1, and you saw it all right here on NSCAA TV, brought to you by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. As we remind you that registration for the 2014 NSCAA Convention is now open. Join 10,000 of your coaching peers for soccer's biggest party this January 15th through 19th in Philadelphia. We guarantee that you'll learn something new from the world's best clinicians and gain new connections by attending one of the many networking socials. You can even get your coaching diplomas during the week. Visit nscaa.com/convention for all event details. Maryland 3, Duke 1. You saw it all right here on NSCAA TV.